45 years ago, Mike Greenawalt made a decision that changed the course of his life. He became an electrical apprentice. That decision eventually led him to become CEO of one of the nation's largest electrical contractors, and today he's helping create those same opportunities for the next generation through their Greenawalt Foundation. And his story really comes at an important moment. For the first time, eligible students can use Workforce Pell Grants for qualifying short-term career training, making careers in the skilled trades more accessible than ever.
Welcome to Skilled Nation, where hard work meets real opportunity. From welding and electrical to HVAC and the trades that keep this country running, this is where skills turn into careers. Skilled Nation is sponsored by Tulsa Welding School. It's a way of life, a badge of honor.
Mike, welcome to Skilled Nation.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Okay, there's a lot of conversation right now about creating opportunities for the next generation. You started all the way back, I'm going to date us, in 1979, and opportunities like this were different back then. So let's talk about before the apprenticeship. Who were you before electrical was even part of your life?
You know, I grew up in Sunny Slope, and I was...
Sunny Slope being a neighborhood here in Phoenix?
Arizona. Yeah, North Phoenix. And it was just a middle-class neighborhood, and I was had an older brother, and my older brother was the A student. He was the drum major in the band. He was the one that was to follow. C's were a good day for me. I took the lawnmower apart. I would take the watches apart, the toaster apart.
You were just wired differently, have a different brain. Two
different people. But,
and let me guess, by the way, when did you come in to Sunny Slope High compared to his tenure there?
He graduated in May of 1973, and I came in September of 1973.
Okay.
So I'm following a person that was National Honor Society, A student, drum major in the band, all of the stuff that parents are so proud of.
And teachers also saying, big shoes to fill.
Here comes another Greenawalt. This is going to be easy. And school was just something I had to do. Like I said, I was a C student. Wasn't interested in music. I was a bit of a jock. I ran cross country and ran track. But my main interest was wood shop, auto shop, crafts class. If it were not for those classes, I would not have been bragging about my C average. That's
because those were pulling it up. They were pulling everything else
up. You know, wood shop was just a lot of fun.
I loved wood shop.
Creative, but auto shop. I loved cars since the time I was 5. So I would gravitate, even before I had the class, I was in there in the afternoons wanting to hang out with the seniors in their cars and do all of that. So I was hands-on, loved working with my hands, loved creating things. I worked hard. I loved jobs. Again, every summer it was the parents' nightmare because you had 2 boys at home, and mom would work part-time and dad's at work, and what were we going to get into? And, you know, like I said,
trouble.
Well, I would want to see why the lawnmower ran.
Yeah, best way to do that is take it apart.
And you've got your dad's tools, you know, and you take it apart.
And he's at work.
My brother and I took our bicycles apart to paint them. We wanted metal flake paint. And we used the gas for the lawnmower to clean all the parts, you know, and our mother comes home and we're in the driveway with gas all over the place. But that was the drive of what I loved to do back then, what I still love to do now. And that's really what going through high school, when I look back, I didn't fit.
How self-aware were you of that? Because here's the thing, you know, there's all these, you know, what was the thing you used to take the Iowa exam and it said, you're going to be a mechanic, you're going to be and I remember that having a big impact on me. I said it was going to be something ridiculous. I forget what, but, you know, a yak farmer. And that sticks, though, and it has an impact because it's like, the adults are telling me this is where my my place in the world is.
Exactly.
So did you have self-awareness that I'm just a tactile learner, or did you even have the vocabulary to tell yourself that?
I did not have any of the capability of understanding really who I was. I knew what I was, but you know how it fit in the world. Where I fit, because I didn't fit. My high school counselor, he would just do his meetings because he had to. He was looking for the college student that was going to go and make him famous. And his job was to get Mike Greenawalt out of high school.
Yeah.
That was
What was your older brother's name?
John.
So I could just see every counselor meeting starting with John. John was the
John's there.
There's the John this, John that. And you
how's
probably
your-
got sick of hearing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you love him, but
And how's your brother? He's at ASU. He's getting a business degree, and it's like, okay. And
well, that messaging has to have a cumulative effect. Your kid, right? And you're not getting that validation for your style of learning and navigating the world.
Absolutely, and that kind of drives where we're at today with the foundation. I keep reflecting back on the counselors and how the teachers would just say, "Oh, here he is. He's not going to amount to much because he's not putting in the effort." I didn't like what I was going through at high school. I was going through something that was painful because the homework, the way we were taught and how to learn, it doesn't fit everybody. But we have this one-size-fits-all education program even back in the 70s.
Yeah.
I had an auto shop teacher named Mr. Squire that got me. He would praise me. The praise that man would put on me, they called me Greenie in high school because my last name is Greenawalt. And he was like, Greenie, you can do things. Greenie, try this. Be careful here. Mr. Squire, he got me the chance to go to VOTEC at Glendale Community College when I was a senior, or when I was a junior. So he was a promoter. A woodshop teacher, he was the same way. He could see, but that's their interest as well.
Yeah.
English, had one English teacher that she seemed to get me. She gave me the really easy out on how to do things. She coached me on writing things that would get me the grade. A lot of the teachers, just great teachers. They had great results. Sunny Slope's always been one of the highest academic schools in the valley. But guys like Mike kind of get pushed aside and don't have many options.
They have limited bandwidth,
Even
right?
in the 1970s, I mean, it was college was the best way to go, and that's where their goal was to get everybody into a ASU or U of A, it just honestly wasn't for me, and I didn't realize for decades of how that kind of held me back, or kind of how fortunate I was that I had a couple of people in my life that said, this is what kind of fits you, or I get you. So
we're going to get to the foundation, but I mean, we're talking with Mike Greenawalt, now that we know the nickname.
Yep.
And those couple of adults, man, giving you just the right kind of feedback, it means so much. So now that we're adults, we got to keep that in mind. And let's talk about the moment that you chose an apprenticeship and the career path that opened up. How did that opportunity come into your consciousness, and why'd you choose it?
We had a neighbor named Ed Krug. Margaret was my babysitter. Ed was an electrician. He had a table saw. He would make cabinets, and I was always helping Ed. Mm-hmm. And I never even thought about being in construction or electrician.
Was he in the neighborhood?
He was right next door.
Right next door.
Right next door. We shared driveways. And when I got into high school and started I wasn't doing oil changes. I was doing some pretty major heavy-duty side jobs in the driveway. Senior year, when I graduated, I went to Glendale Community to the automotive tech program. My parents said, if you're going to live at home, you're going to go to school, you're going to college, and I happened to find a college that was nothing but automotive tech till the last 2 years when I had to start, last year when I had to start taking humanities and English and all the other things. But I managed to get 3 semesters of nothing but auto shop in. And Ed kept coming over and watching me work on cars. And one day Ed just said, you need to be an electrician. And I said, I don't know anything about construction. I don't know anything about construction. And he's puffing on a cigarette and he goes, nope, you're a talented young man. You need to be an electrician.
All right, and that's right what you needed to hear. Right?
That's right what I needed to hear. I was, in my second year at Glendale Community College. I was unhappy. I was working, side jobs. I had some odd jobs. Kind of in a point in life that I was worried what was going to happen because I had to finish my college and where's next. And I really wasn't in love with the idea of going to work as a mechanic. It wasn't that the money wasn't there. Really, the money was not there for me. And the job opportunities were kind of slow. So Ed said electrician, I didn't really get it. That afternoon, my mom said, you're going to dinner with Ed and Margaret tonight. And I went over and Ed basically laid out what the apprenticeship was, what it took to get in. He was a proud union member, and he basically said, if you do this, you can't let me down.
Oh, wow.
We're getting you into something that's very special. The IBEW is a brotherhood, it's an education, it's a way of life. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I said, okay, how much do you make? And he looked at me,
Cut to the chase, man.
He just shook his head like, oh, this kid, what am I doing? But that was a point that changed my life. Somebody recognized me. He saw what I was doing, and he heard probably my parents saying, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He's at this point in life, and life is passing him by, and he just wants to work on cars.
Yeah.
But Ed Krug was the person that recognized me, had that in the back of his mind, I can do this. And fortunately, he did pull a couple of strings, and I went down and took the test, got on the list, and I was very fortunate, or due to my family circumstances financially, I qualified for a government program that was CETA, the Comprehensive Employment Training Act of 1972. It was a Richard Nixon program.
All right.
I qualified for CETA. Palo Verde was being built, and they needed electricians and apprentices. So I kind of moved to the front of the line and went right into a pre-apprenticeship that was sponsored by the federal government in CETA.
Okay.
So,
first thing we all need, by the way, are Ed Krugs.
oh,
So that's huge. But the first thing that was on your mind is not absurd. You ask how much you're going to make, because financial considerations matter.
absolutely.
And you wouldn't have been able to do it without what at the time was a government program, which I assume has since been discontinued.
It was discontinued. I think Reagan scuttled it in the 82 time frame.
And nothing has come in to replace it exactly, right?
Nothing's replaced
Until
exactly.
recently. Tell me about the kind of financial aid through Pell Grants. There are limitations to it, right? But qualifying students can get some federal financial aid for qualifying short-term programs. How's this working?
Yeah, well, the catch is the funding goes to the program, and the program has to be qualified for Title IV, which is basically programs that qualify for FAFSA, and it goes back to the college funding.
Okay.
Typically, these are for-profit trade schools, community colleges, vocational schools. Very few apprentices will qualify unless the school that they tie their bookwork to is a Title IV education program. So it's kind of limiting on the apprenticeship, but it does help with the short-term. Pre-apprenticeship programs would be highly beneficial to this. Community programs, programs like EVIT, they're going to benefit greatly. The funding is only for the classroom training. It does not help with the on-the-job training at all. It does not qualify for on-the-job, so it's not going to go on the paychecks. The contractors don't get it. It goes to the schools, which is the limiting factor. I wish they would have made it more like CETA and incentivize the contractors and the employers to hire apprentices, hire those people that need the training and need the help, because the on-the-job training for all of these skilled trades, whether it's CNC machining, automotive technicians, body men, the on-the-job training is where you develop that skill, the eye-hand coordination, the tricks of the trade. The safety is developed. You cannot develop your safety culture through a book. You have to have people showing you and being a mentor to you. So I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't help fund or motivate and inspire contractors and employers to use it, but it does help with the financial aid or the financial stress that would be on any student, any Mike Greenawalt today that is in a financially strapped family that isn't going to qualify for any type of scholarship to a university and needs some help. That's what the Pell Grants will really help motivate and inspire families to say, you can get a Pell Grant, you can be a mechanic, or you can be an electrician. Typically, Pell Grants is you're going to go to take English 101 and 102, and that will eat up your Pell Grant, just getting through the basics. So it's a big benefit. I wish it did more. I really wish it did more, but we'll take it. And this should really help a lot of young people that are looking, even some of our veterans coming out that are still needing some help getting into a trade or a vocation. It's a big deal.
Okay.
It's a big deal.
And Mike Greenawalt, this is saying there's a recognition that we're facing critical shortages of skilled workers, right?
Yes.
And so this is a signal, right, that at the federal level, this is a priority.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a goal from this administration right now that we're going to have 1 million apprentices in the program. We've been at about 750,000 apprentices across the nation for the past 3 years. So getting apprentices into the program, apprentices are, those are credentialed programs. Getting to 1 million people is a big leap because of these apprenticeships are it's hard work.
Yeah.
They're getting the current high school seniors, young adults. I don't want to pick on the Gen Zers, but it's a little different for them to go into some of these work environments.
Yeah.
We have a high washout rate in the apprenticeship programs across the country. Typically we'll see 40% of people that enter the construction trades, 40% will be out of the construction trades within 24 months. They just wash out.
That quick, okay.
It's very hard.
And that churn's tough on companies too.
It's a big cost on companies, and that's why we're struggling with companies that will actually take on these. They know the needs there, but getting them to invest into their employees is a big challenge. It's a big challenge. As an employer, I know how much it costs. I know how much time it takes, and to hit some of these jobs and put 2 or 3 18, 19-year-old young men and women out there that are pretty soft. It's a challenge.
It hardens you, yeah.
It hardens you, but you have to. As industry, we know where we're at. We know we have shortage. We know these issues are in front of us. This is going to take a big group effort. Pell Grants is just a little piece of it, but employers stepping up and training that next level. We need more Ed Krugs out there that are going to say, it's okay. And we need our parents to understand that it's okay if your son or daughter doesn't want to go to college.
Right.
They need to understand that the trades are not a dead-end job, that it's a phenomenal career opportunity, and it's wide open for entrepreneurs, for people like myself that were late bloomers that just wanted to build stuff. The trades are a phenomenal opportunity out there. Pell Grants are going to incentivize people to go to school. I really am focused on getting people into apprenticeships so they actually get credentials when they walk out. Yeah. My apprenticeship certificate hanging on my wall looks just like my friend's Bachelor of Science that he got in 1983. When I got my journeyman wireman's certificate, it's the same piece of paper signed by Bruce Babbitt, the governor, back in 1983. Yeah. His says Bachelor of Science, mine says apprentice, journeyman wireman.
And it means just as much. And it's framed and on your wall to this day.
It's hanging on the wall, and that's it. And people come in the CEO's office, and they're looking for all the sheepskin on the wall, and I go, there's
mine. There's mine right there.
I got one. There it is.
So Mike Greenawalt, 45-year career in the trades, electrical, CEO. How important is it that young people see themselves in you or in people like you who have not just had a gig, not just had a job, not just going from site to site, but forged a career? Because there's a difference. There's a difference between a job and a career. And I think too often people think, oh, this is a gig, you know?
Well, that's, construction kind of has the that kind of a reputation of being a gig. A lot of people say, oh, I couldn't get onto this, so while I'm waiting, I'm getting a job in construction, or I'm doing this part-time, or, I started doing it, next thing you know, it's 10 years later, and I guess I'm a carpenter. The skilled trades are just that. It's a skill. And it's a credentialable, it's something you can get credentials in. And it's a career, and I call it a profession. It is a profession because you have talents that you're given, and you build on those talents, like an actor that, they have talents and they have to go to school and they have to work on what they do. When you have skills, you work with your hands, and you choose to be I'm very partial to be an electrician, but
That's what
I did. But when you've got that eye-hand capability, you have the mathematic capabilities to do the math.
Problem solving.
The problem solving, the critical thinking that has to go on these construction sites. We have amazing technology today that has taken a lot of the guesswork out. We have our foreman walking around at most of the larger companies with an iPad. It used to be a little notepad in your pocket and you write stuff down. They have their iPad with the schedule, they've got the budget, they've got everything on their iPad. They know where people are at. That's a difference.
But see, but you're an example. You became CEO.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have an apprentice, certificate hanging on a wall, and you became a CEO, right? That doesn't sound like gig work to me. That sounds like a career path.
It takes mentors from the day you get into the trades, whether you're a registered apprentice or not.
But that's the culture. The mentors are there.
Absolutely, and that's the key to. If you look at anybody, no matter how well they did academically and how they came up in their industry that made it to the C-suites, they worked hard, they had the intelligence, but they also had people that believed in them, that taught them and said, we think this person can do it, and we would like that person to follow in our footsteps. And that is what the trades are all about. The mentorship, the journeyman to apprentice relationship, it gets so close because you spend 8 to 10 hours with somebody that's typically your parents' age.
Yeah.
And they are teaching you.
But it's a different relationship.
It's a different relationship because they're not telling you what to do and you're not getting mad because they're telling you what to do. They're showing you the way of life. They're showing you how they've been successful. They're transferring that knowledge, and that's what's so challenging right now in this industry is the boomers are aging out.
Yeah.
And the new generations are coming in. The transfer of knowledge side is so important on how this works and how this industry goes around. And it's not just a skilled trades in the construction world. You look at the CNC machinists in the world, welders, all these, everyone thinks that with data centers, everyone has to be an electrician. But iron workers are absolutely amazing people. Some of the best mathematicians I've ever been around are carpenters with a pencil, a number 2 pencil,
in their area.
and a piece of cardboard.
And scrap, yeah.
And they're figuring the rise on us and stairs they're going to make. So that's just that's what it's about in the construction industry.
So you go through the ranks, Mike, and you become a CEO, and you could have just retired, gone off to the sunset, enjoyed your time.
Yep.
And instead, in this next chapter, you and your wife, right?
Yes, my wife Dina.
You decide to start the Greenawalt Foundation. So why is this what you do? Why aren't you kicking back with why isn't it Miller time? What's happening?
Well, I had a lot of Miller time in the trade, I can tell you that, It's something, listen, it gets in your blood. And the joy, as I rose through the ranks in the industry and working for the company I worked for, we cared about our people. And you get so invested in watching people grow. As you get to the C-suites and you're a CEO, and you're watching all these people that want your job so bad, and they're so good at it. It gets intoxicating to challenge them and see them achieve. And next thing you know, you're retiring. And people, what they do in retirement, some go cold turkey, some have problems, just adjusting. We talked before I retired. I said, this business has been so good to me. I was destined to be living in a trailer in Sunny Slope somewhere. That's what most people would have figured out. Yeah,
that was their prediction.
That was their prediction for me. But the construction industry, my apprenticeship, it gave me the opportunity to grow, to see the opportunities, what's ahead of me. For those of us that like having, take the next chance, if you have a chance, take it. Cody Johnson song, Take It While You Got the Chance. That's what drove us. I'm looking to give those opportunities to everybody out there that doesn't know about it. So we wanted to give back. I wanted to give back to the industry, and I reflected back on 18-year-old Mike, what a goofball I was, what a challenge I was to my parents, and how one person made a difference. And it was something I knew nothing about. Construction was never on my radar.
So what's when you're in front of a donor or a
Yes.
potential donor, what's that 30-second elevator pitch? What are the priorities of the foundation? What is the structure? What do you try to, how do you help young people, boots on the ground?
Yeah, our foundation is focused on high school seniors going into any type of a registered apprenticeship program. With those programs, we're looking at our elevator pitch is this is it. You have an opportunity to go to this program. We will offer you the financial aid and the guidance to get you into these programs. So we're looking right at the students with that. With the parents that don't know anything about it, if they come and they see me speaking at a high school or anywhere, it's about my journey and about the opportunities that are there. So basically, we're offering scholarships to high school seniors going into any type of registered apprenticeship, from being nail techs, construction, automotive body work, CNC machinist. It qualifies for pre-apprenticeship programs or registered apprenticeship programs. We also offer community grants to programs for that are helping, say women's shelters are helping people getting back, and they're wanting to get them into employment opportunities. So my wife is working on that end of it to help get the funding into their hands that would push people into the trades. It may not be apprenticeship route, but we can get them into a career path. And then the industry grants is if the program doesn't qualify, or if the students weren't able to fill out the paperwork right, we can give funding to the apprenticeships or the schools that then they can offer scholarships through their entity, because with 501c3s, it's very rigid on how you write it and how you issue the money. So we've got 3 ways to fund the program. We can give scholarships, industry grants, or community grants. And we're taking, we've shut off the scholarship grants request, the scholarship request at the end of April, so we can issue scholarships, which we are over the summer. We're issuing letters and scholarships for the first group that came through. And then we're, at the end of November, the industry grant and community grants are going to be shut off, and we'll be funding all of that and using up the rest of our annual funding. So greenawaltfoundation.org is where you can go to find out anything you want about what I just said. If you're a student, if you're a company, if you're just curious how it is, and on there you can email me if you have questions or you want to talk to me or my wife, Dina, we can do that at greenawaltfoundation.org. No the in front of it, just greenawaltfoundation.org.
Start with the G, yeah.
Start with the G, and that's where it's at. So,
and you didn't make a pitch. You talked about parents and students and donors. How about donors?
Listen.
Every foundation I know of,
Absolutely.
they're looking for donors.
Thank you for that. My CEO, my wife would have been.
Dina, I got your back.
Hey, I talk to so many different companies, and they're calling me to want me to consult with them. Hey, you did amazing things at your company. You traveled around the country. You staffed all these big data centers. It's just amazing what your company's still doing. How do you do it? You invest in your people. And I'm going to tell the companies out there, if you want to invest in your people, it's a lot of work. But if you want to talk to the Greenawalt Foundation about helping you invest in your people, make a donation to the Greenawalt Foundation. We will work with you on helping you develop your programs. And 100% goes out to the students. We run this program for free. It's my wife, myself. We have one admin that's helping that's on a different payroll. So 100% of the foundation right now, it's funded by the Greenawalts. We've got a lot of outside donors, but it's still primarily funded by the Greenawalts. Companies, construction companies, machine shops, auto body. If you have some income that you need to get rid of for Uncle Sam, greenawaltfoundation.org. You can donate right there. Students go on and look at the scholarship opportunities. If you're a junior, it's a good time to start. We're offering $2,500 for the first semester for the qualifying students. And if they do well and they want to come back again, we'll offer them another $2,500. So we can give each student a $5,000 scholarship going into a registered apprenticeship program.
And that could be such a tipping point. So this clearly is, you talk about it as giving back to the industry that was so good to you, so it's meaningful to you. And I imagine you're thinking in terms of legacy, like 20 years from now, what do you want people to be saying about the Greenawalt Foundation and the impact it's had on their lives?
Sorry. I want to be Ed Krug. Yeah, I want to be Ed Krug. Mm-hmm. I got my start.
That is a legacy you could be proud of, for sure.
We hope so.
Yeah.
We're trying. So it's a great industry.
Yeah.
These are great things, and I want parents to know it's a great opportunity, and it's you just take those chances and go for it.
So people can help. The community, the employers, individuals, they can help create these opportunities for young people. And one of the ways they could do it is through the Greenawalt Foundation. What else should they be doing? Like if we started thinking about the listeners to this podcast, you know, what can they do? And both in terms of interfacing with the Greenawalt Foundation, but what can they do internally in their programs, in their communities, in their peer groups?
Well, employers, it's difficult to start up these programs. Mm-hmm. It costs a lot of money, it takes resources, and that's what we're always short of right now. We have a lot of great programs out there. Getting involved with EVIT, it's kind of a bumpy road there.
EVIT sounds like an initialism. What does that stand for?
East Valley Institute of Technology, and
Okay.
there's WestMech, which is the West Valley Institute.
So that's in this area.
They are in Phoenix, Arizona. EVIT,
listeners
WestMech,
in other parts of the country can find similar?
Absolutely. In the other parts of the country, all of our community colleges in Arizona, the Maricopa County Community College District, they have great programs going on. To try things on, there are pre-apprenticeship programs throughout the country. Mm-hmm. And one of the best pre-apprenticeship programs I can say I had a hand in starting was the one at Grand Canyon University.
Right.
They have a construction program now. It started off as an electrical pre-apprenticeship. Now it's a full-blown 2-semester construction program that lets the students take a taste of concrete, steel,
It's
electrical,
delicious.
plumbing, and they get a year of that. But also at Grand Canyon, they've just started a program with TSMC, a pre-apprenticeship program on clean room technicians, so the technology side. There is so much, I'm a skilled trades person, and everyone thinks hammers and nails, but the skilled trades, the CNC machining program that they started at Grand Canyon University, they have I think it's about a 50,000 square foot machine shop on campus now.
That's fantastic.
The students go to school in the morning, and then they make parts in the afternoon, and those parts are being used in the aerospace industry. They're not just throwing them in the garbage. And those companies are hiring those young men and women after they have their first semester. They're hiring them as apprentices then.
So we
look for pre-apprenticeship programs out there.
Is there a place to start your search? I mean, and I'm talking because somebody listening to this in Maine or Florida, or where do you start this search for these resources? Because if they see themselves, a student or a person who wants to make a pivot in their life, here's in your story and sees themselves.
Yeah.
What's this next step?
Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Labor, has a list of all registered apprenticeships in the country. And you can go on and see the availability, where the classes are. If you want to move to Alaska, it's just do Department of Labor apprenticeship programs. In the state of Arizona, it's on the Department of Economic Security type in Arizona Apprentice Programs.
Okay.
I believe there's 318 programs right now registered in the state of Arizona. There's roughly 10,000 apprentices working in the state of Arizona in different programs. And I think there's around 1,200 employers, some of them are going through multi-employer programs, that are employing apprentices. So it's out there on our government websites. You have to go looking for it. And once you get there, you start digging around. You kind of
follow the
where it's
rabbit
at,
hole.
Follow
Yeah.
the rabbit hole. And I never, when you're looking at job searching or you're looking for opportunity and you're trying to move up, you never know is usually just a great negotiation. So if they say we're not hiring, you wait for maybe a couple of hell no's and we're not hiring. But opportunities out there, but you really have to go find it and you have to take it. But it's there, and the apprenticeships are great.
The need is absolutely there in the market, yeah, for sure.
Listen, the need is way understated, and we could talk for hours on the need. And the ship has sailed. The need is upon us right now. The opportunity's there. It's just getting in front of it.
Let's talk about a pinch point then. The pinch point is the decision to do it.
The decision to do it.
So I'm going to put a scenario, for a little imagination. Let's go into the realm of imagination, Mike. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I want you to imagine that you have a young person, and say a high school senior, and you're in a room with him or her, but also in that room is his or her parents and his or her guidance counselor from the high school. Because the parents are a pinch point or a friction point sometimes,
Yeah.
and I think the guidance counselor sometimes it has an incentive to push college, because that's how the high school is going to be assessed.
Yes.
So you have a minute in this room with the parent, the guidance counselor, and the student. What do you say?
I will look at them and say the fastest way to 100K without college debt is through a registered apprenticeship program. If they have the skills, they have the desire, they can get an education, they can learn a trade, and they can be working and contributing within the next 24 months. You're in the money. The first year apprentice wages are pretty low, but you move up pretty fast. But the fastest way to 100K is through a registered apprenticeship program.
That was a really good 1 minute or less pitch, first of all. Well done. And also, it answers what 18-year-old Mike Greenawalt asked when he was
Absolutely
at dinner with Ed.
That's we had.
What do you make?
We had priorities. I wanted a jet boat so bad that I could taste it.
You want to buy a car, you want wheels, you want stuff, and that's going to resonate to the student.
Absolutely.
But also, what you said really resonates, I think, and it's the gap that needs to be filled with parents and their objections or their vision for their child's future, which is important to them. I get it. And to that counselor who is worried about how they're going to be assessed in their job.
Yeah.
So
those
you've spoken to all the audiences.
Absolutely. And speaking to those counselors, I've been in a lot of their offices here in the Phoenix metro area. Their walls, their desks are covered with swag from ASU, NAU, the community colleges. There's just stacked up, UTI, every trade school stacked up. They're getting inundated on marketing on where to send the seniors. I don't see anything. You see very little for registered apprenticeships because we're too busy training people and running businesses
To do that outreach.
They need to really, counselors is look a little deeper. If that company can afford to bring you in hats and swag and coffee cups, is the money really going to where it needs to be?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that side of it, but it really bothers me the fact that we're trying to get young men into these programs, and these apprenticeship programs are so easy now to start up and run. But that's where the meat and potatoes is for I think the future. And the answer to our labor problem, when you talk about this labor shortage, I keep talking about high school seniors, that's the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
That's the Band-Aid. The answer right now is in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
The answer is in the 6th grade because 10 years from now, they're going to be our leaders.
Well, and that's the culture change that hopefully some of these changes, hopefully the work of your foundation
Yes.
can begin to change.
Yes.
So I think it's happening, and I think you're doing really good work.
We're trying.
Today's conversation isn't just about apprenticeships. It's not just about workforce development. It's about what's possible when somebody is given that opportunity, when somebody sees you and believes in your potential, right?
Absolutely.
Mike Greenawalt's journey from apprentice to CEO, and then the work of the Greenawalt Foundation, which he founded with his wife, reminds us that the future of the skilled trades isn't built on projects, it's built by and on people. It starts with one opportunity. It starts with one mentor like Ed, and one person willing to believe in someone else's potential. So, Mike Greenawalt, thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for coming on and telling us about it here on Skilled Nation.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
We love what we do. Skilled Nation. It's a badge of honor. It's a way of life.